Nigerian government to negotiate or sit on a table with the people who are agitating for self-determination, but easy for them to talk with those who has no mission but to take innocent life, the terrorists.
Please, I'm laughing. Sorry, sir. So you want Nigeria government to sit on the table and discuss about people like you mean Biafra?
Yes.
They will not do that. Me and you know it.
Why?
We know they won't do it. The reason is this: if they divide Nigeria, some part of Nigeria will suffer. That is number one.
Which part of Nigeria do you think will suffer?
I'm not going to say some part of Nigeria will suffer. Definitely not the Biafra. We all know this. The Biafra is the one covering Nigeria. Maybe I'm wrong. I want somebody to prove me wrong, right? If I'm wrong, we need to know they will not allow that to happen. Let's assume they divide Nigeria now. Some parts will definitely suffer, live in abject poverty. I'm telling the truth. The government, I don't think they will drink alcohol rich like that when they come sit down for say may they give Biafra what they want. They know the truth. They know the facts. But they will never agree to it.
But my sister,
secondly,
go ahead.
Secondly, if really we want the Biafra to come, if really the Indians want the Biafra, they should first of all unite and speak with one voice. I'm sorry to say, if you look at it, everybody just on their own way, everybody just fighting for their stomachs. But waiting for the Igbo to be waiting for Nigerian government to make them all sit down for table, come they discuss and say they want give Igbo people Biafra. My brother, men we get honest, so they don't do that. They won't do that. The Nigerian government know the truth. They will not do that. But if the Igbo want Biafra, the Igbos should unite first. They should speak with one voice. When they say yes, it should be yes. When they say no, it should be no. They should unite first. When the community speak one voice, things will be easy. But are they speaking one voice? The answer is no. Do I accept they should divide Nigeria? Of course, yes. Nigeria is not one country. That's only to an issue. We should not government, when they talk government concept, that they won't do that.
Okay, my sister, thank you so much for your contribution that you made. And let me respond in the issue of Biafran speaking in one voice. I think sometimes when we talk about Biafra speaking in one voice, this is my own personal view. I think sometimes we blow it out of proportion because naturally, as human being as we are, you can never get 100% compliance in anything. There's never a time you have it. There will always be some people who will agree, some people who will disagree. There will always be differences here and there. It will always be there. And we must have to acknowledge that. To an extent, as we speak, to an extent, even though there are diverse means and diverse ideas and diverse groups that are asking, the major thing on the table that many people are tired of that contraption called Nigeria and they are willing to get out of it. Many people are prepared and willing to get out of it. That is one thing that I want us to always have in our mind, that major, if not at least 95% of the Biafran people from the old southeastern region. When I mean Biafran, I'm not talking just about the Igbos. About 95% are willing and ready. The problem and difference becomes the way and the approach becomes the difference that we have among us. So let us not, and there's never a time we can be speaking on having one opinion. It will not happen. It have not happened before, and it will not start from us. But just like you are saying, I know we're supposed to have some level of agreement, and we are projecting towards that. So when we talk about that issue of disagreement, let us not blow it out of proportion. I know we have some disagreement, which is happening in every organization, every other place. And the issue of when you talked about that some people are going to suffer in Nigeria, you see, my sister, what you said now is the fear of so many people. It's fear of so many people, and many people are capitalizing on that to continue to hold us captive and make people suffer. But one thing that people don't know is that Nigerian citizens are suffering more as they are together now than when they separate. Why did I say that? There is there's no state in Nigeria that does not have enough resources to take care of itself. Let me bring it to region. There is no region in Nigeria that does not have enough resources to take care of itself. We should always remember that there is no region in Nigeria that does not have enough resources, natural resources, to take care of itself. But the laziness of those who claim to know and the international interests that continue to keep us in captivity, to force what they created to remain, make people they believe that maybe when a country is created, you now become poor, you cannot progress. Every one of us, if you talk about the northern part of Nigeria, they have humongous resources, natural resources that can take care of an entire nation, even entire Africa. Even more resources have been discovered in the north. Are you talking about the Middle Belt? The Middle Belt is so rich in mineral resources, very, very rich, that some of them are not being touched. They are not being taken care of. They are not even being mined today. You see, the Southwest. Southwest have more than enough resources to take care of the activities. Is it Biafra land? We have more than enough resources. And apart from that, the natural resources, the brain that Chukwu Okike have given every human being in all regions. If you harness it, you can be better than anything you can talk about. But we continue to allow this laziness.
You measure all regions. When you reach South, when you reach South, you measure Southeast. You measure Southwest. You didn't measure South. I didn't know their own region.
Oh, that is one of those problems we are talking about. As far as I'm concerned, as a Biafra agitator, there is something like called South-South. South-South is not anywhere, even in the geographical figure, there's no something like South-South. South-South.
That is why, because when we are looking for something, try to know where the problem are that make what you are activated for, what make it not to work, or what will make it to work. I will say to you today now, if I'm not for this South-South, I'm from South-South. I'm speaking what me and person like me think that will make up, not to join, make us to even like Nigeria to be Nigeria today, or that to be that to even join Yoruba or join Igbo. You understand? The only thing we can do, we can join Igbo and Yoruba together, but we cannot join either Igbo or either Yoruba. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because Nigeria today, let me say to you, if I meet, let me say you are my friend as an Igbo man, and I have another Igbo man as a friend. Me and you were working. We meet that Igbo man. I will tell you, when I'm greeting that Igbo man, I will say, Igbo man, see your brother is from Igbo. You might not be the same state. The second I said this is Igbo man, I tell you, even when we stay there for 1 hour, 2 hours, none of them will speak even the broken English for Joe Nigeria used to understand themselves. Will become speaking Igbo. Even me that introduced two of you, I will not be outside you. It's just that today, if we start join Igbo as a country, I'm just telling you, listen for you to know.
Yeah.
If we join Igbo as a country, I tell you that country that will make a new country. We people that come from that South, because every person live in South, we are minority, because we are small language speaking.
South is not minority. You are the one making yourself minority now. South is not minority.
We know the truth. We not argue about the truth, for the truth. Let me what I'm telling you. Anytime, let me even say there's an election for person to contest as a president. I tell you, anybody from that region contest as a president, the numbers are already making you can never be who you want to be. That that one will make us not to join. And two, what they're even fighting for, to make a country, it comes from that SASA we are talking about. That's why I tell you, that thing that will make Nigeria to be fighting today, not to divide, is come from that land called SASA. And if you say check it, it even look like God know how, no future. That's why you give that people that have that resources not to have one voice, one language, different language, so that in a way you can able to help others. Because if you are happy today, I tell you, we will not even be talking about Nigeria, we'll be talking about our own. One and two, there's another one I want to say to you. If you have people who really fight for Biafra to work, this is time for you to know whether they are fighting for Biafra to work. What is the time? The thing of Nigeria today, what the world will face Nigeria to see something is happening in Nigeria is called election. That is a public holiday. There is a day where every other nation, talk about West Africa, talk about the African Union, talk about Europeans, talk about even the Asian Union, all of them, talk about the Christian, talk about the Muslim, all of them are going to Nigeria to face Nigeria, which is election day. That election day make it Nigeria. For if you don't want to join Nigeria, that day is supposed to show that you don't want to join Nigeria. That is the day where we will have election happen in the land of Southeast. There was not election take place. It shows that they are not really Nigeria. It's not when the election come, you are not saying we. When the election is not here, you are saying we want to divide. It shows that you are fighting two things at the same time. Fight one cause. That day is supposed to show it because they don't want to join Nigeria. That is why other people that call them, they will give them obedience. And what do you see in Nigeria? We go to Nigeria, we say that the Southeast, they don't want to join Nigeria. They never control the election. They are not part of Nigeria. They want to go. It shows that those people, they mean it. They want to go. It's their right. Let us give them their right. It's not that they come to vote. After that day, because your person never moved, you are not saying we are Nigeria, we are not Nigeria. We need to go. Even to say Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today, you know this one when I was talking now, it shows you are alive, you know. Many people to different they'll tell you, no, we never say we will do Sasa. We say we all no. Federal government, even it's not a federal government, it's not individual people with a Northern or even Southwest. Say that if people want to go, let them go with their 5 countries. Their 5 states, nobody will stop them. But people will not know that people are even saying that it's not that the Nigerian government saying, the Nigerian government saying that's when the Nigerian government saying let those people go. But I'm telling you today, if you want to go, you are fighting the call. This is time to show the cause. This is time for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when they preach, they happy say my people they are really following my cause. It's not when you are saying sit at home for your people to be suffering. It's not when you are buying your people that join soldier because they join soldier you are buying them, they join police you are buying them. This is time for you to do that peaceful you are talking about. This is time for you to do that peaceful divide from Nigeria in the way whereby the day of election, even Obi contest, people love Obi, but the Southeast say no, they are not Nigeria. They don't want to vote Nigeria. Not be that anybody you see Southeast is talking about. You mentioned one word, you said that people are talking about religion, tribal, that in Nigeria already been made by tribal. Yes, true, you said it true. The same person that we see in only you the way you come from. 99% vote cast for them was a person where you come from. The same person come to supply from the tell you, so it is not about the tribal, this is not about tribal, which is supposed to be. Knowing that where you come from, everybody that contested the election, they will have they got to land to come and campaign. But you vote for a person alone, it shows that you do a tribal bigger more than the tribal because you are telling another person not to do. It's like you are telling person, my son is a good person. You are telling the person, another person to tell you, because this is a good person, why would you say because you love the song, you want other people to love the song. So when Nigeria is within the tribal, when they know they are tribal bigger, even let them even say today now, they will say, Obi, don't be violent. You see somebody say, if Obi don't be violent for me to vote for Tinubu, I'll vote for Tinubu. It shows that you that want to vote for me, you are not voting for me because of this good person. You vote for me maybe it's from your east, and you are not because of this not the ballot paper. You want to vote for Tinubu because Tinubu is for Southwest. You see it. So people that take it that way, they don't even know what to call tribal people. You are not voting for candidate because he's a good person. Because you don't want to talk a good person today. I tell you, if you want person to bring the Southeast, we say it's your turn. Bring candidate. I tell you, Southeast, Obi will be among of it will be even if they bring million people to start, Obi might even take the bottom. Who start is to bring as a good person in their area.
Okay, my brother, I've heard you. Let me respond a little to what you said. You see, that is, I want anytime you are speaking to me on this platform, always remember that I am a hardcore Biafran supporting the restoration of Biafra and the disintegration of Nigeria. Always remember that in your mind. You see, if not, for me, I allow everybody to speak and say their mind. Just like as I say, you are talking as if you are talking to somebody who is part of the one Nigerian business or whatever. And I like the words you are saying. Everything you are saying are partly factual, but some of them are somehow distorted. Number one, when you come about the issue of you complain of when I talked about, I did not mention South, and I gave you the reason. Just like when I was starting this program, when I told you initially, when we started the discussion, I talked about foundational problem. And when we are talking about Biafra, we know where the territory of Biafra is. Biafra is not just, it doesn't just fall from sky. It is a country that have been before, and they fought a war. At the end of the day, they said there was no victor, no vanquish, and then they decided to march back into Nigeria, and things continue to go the way it is. So each time when somebody is talking about the issue of Biafra, you should always remember that area called Biafra. It has a map, it has a location, it has an identity. It is a country that has existed, and it is not something that we just formed and just brought it out. It has been before. So when I am describing it, and that was why when I'm discussing Biafra, I cannot accommodate that language that you used about calling South. I can't accommodate it when I'm talking about Biafra. It doesn't mean that I disrespect people who decide to buy into that name. And many of them have their reason, just like as you are complaining. Just as you're laying your complaint about the reason why you don't want to be part of it, maybe you'll be marginalized. But even in most of the program we have done, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself have done a program, Simon did a program, that on the way it's going to be wrong. What we are pursuing is to make sure we get out from the cage. At the end of the day, every region is going to manage their own resources. Just as I was explaining before, there is no region in Nigeria that doesn't have enough resources to secure them. You come to Biafra land, the entire Biafra land, there is no state in Biafra land that doesn't have enough resources to maintain them. There is no one. So it is not about resources. If resources is the problem, once Biafra comes and we got it back, we have our peace. And while we are still mounting pressure on the Biafra, this is a country I've existed before, and these are people that have the same value system. Even if we disagree, somebody from Ijo can begin to tell you something else, and somebody from Calabar or somebody from Efik will tell you different things. But at the same time, when you look at our value system, it is almost 100% the same. Even in our appearance, it's almost the same. Even though we agree and we know where the disagreement is coming from, it is still something that was planted by the outside. They created the fear that does not exist, that does not hold water. The fear of domination that doesn't hold water. Because if the Biafran people, the Igbos more especially, if the Igbos wanted to dominate, they have the population to dominate, they have the might to dominate, they have the resources to dominate. But that is not their nature, and they have never embarked in domination in any way. In the entire Biafra, they have never embarked in domination. But outsiders try to create that influence, they create that impression to make people be afraid, to make our own brothers be afraid. So when we are talking about Ijo, we are just the same people. Just like when you see Asare Dokubo talk the way he talks, and we know how he started until he began to distort the truth because of personal anger, because of personal interest. And that is what we see, which is very common among all of us. Even some people who are Igbos today, some people who are Igbos. Just like you are saying that some people, when it comes to when they call election, they will talk about election. After election, they will talk about freedom. There are people that are doing that, but these people are not people who are in the agitation. The model of the agitation we are agitating today is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Nnamdi. They have never, ever stepped back. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave the opportunity, he gave it on a very open field at the very first time. It has only been negotiation. When they brought the Python dance, he talked with them. The only request he made was to build roads, restore international airport, restore the seaport in Port Harcourt and in other places. Do it and we have our peace. And they refused. And when Peter Obi was contesting with Atiku Abubakar, they made the promise they're going to make it change. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave them the opportunity. and allow the election to hold. And you see how it went. They truncated it, it didn't go anywhere. And that was the last opportunity he gave. He has never one day said, okay, because election is coming, and now, oh, go and vote for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has never campaigned for anybody for election. Likewise, Simon Eber never campaigned for anybody election. Until tomorrow, he is not campaigning for anybody for election. Because we know that election cannot solve the problem you have in the country. Just like you yourself confirmed. It doesn't matter who comes there. It is always, you can never talk about Nigerian president. There has never been something called Nigerian president. It's either you have an Hausa president, a Fulani president, a Ijaw president, Igbo presidency, Yoruba presidency, or anybody talk. You can't see anybody talking about Nigeria. But they can come on the media and they talk about it. But when you listen their campaign, the trouble that was here, you heard when he said his campaign language. And people that support him today, you hear the campaign language. It is about them, about their tribe. If Peter Obi goes there tomorrow, it will still be the same thing. You will see some people that will come. Just because he's their Igbo brother, they will begin to support him. Just because he's their Igbo brother, whatever he does goes. But those of us who are genuinely in this agitation, this is not what we want. What we want is creating a country along value system. The value of the people in the north and the people in the southwest is not the same. The value of the people in the southwest and people in the old southeastern region is not the same. The value of the people in the middle belt and those in the core north is not the same. Why not have these regions, have their country? We can decide to still operate together, just like you have the European Union. We be independent and own. At the end of the day, we will sit back and write an agreement or a constitution that will hold us together, if we choose to. And then we'll stick to it. Not something that somebody created somewhere that doesn't have the signature of the people who are involved. What we are defending today, what we are contesting, looking for a president to guide today, has not foundation with us. Nobody represented us when it was formed. Nobody represented you when it was formed. And look at us fighting to protect this, fighting to keep it alive, even when we know it will not survive. Even when we know it will not survive. So when we begin to talk about these issues, these are the reasons we are speaking. Just like you were saying, the issue of Biafra freedom is not out of hatred. It is not out of sentiment. It is not because of our resources. It is not because it is of our population or whatever. It is to save life, for people to have dignity and be represented appropriately. Live and let's live. That is what we are saying. That is what Biafra is about. Live and let everybody have the right to exist. Let everybody have the right to do what they want in their own region, at their own space, at their own time. That is all we are asking. Is it too much to ask? It is not too much to ask. But people misunderstand it and they interpret it in a different form.
Sir, I want to take a minute here. Those
Go ahead.
Like Zafara today, that try to implement a Sharia law in their land. Do we support them? Because what they are doing in their land is not them to come and put Sharia in my land. They were talking Sharia in their land. We support them to make those laws to come and exist because it's their land, it's not our land.
That is why you can't be in the same country with them. Listen, when I talk about value system, you can have multiple laws in a country, in one particular country, that you call a secular country. What happens to me? It is their land, but they say that people have the right to exist anywhere. You have the right to do business anywhere. That me now that I'm in my own, that I feel that I'm in a country that is called Nigeria, I will go to Zamfara. Then you begin to prosecute me in a law that I know nothing about. How does that pay? How does that make you feel?
Do you know why I asked that question? Because you said that let people do what they like in their region. It shows that what people like in their region, those people like that in their region. If we allow let people do what they like in their region, even you, let me put it for you. Because when we are talking about this agitation, the lowest state that's supposed to, the region that's supposed to talk about agitation is unable. Do you know why I say so? I will tell you today. Business, Igbo people are known by business. Business do with numbers.
You are very funny.
And they say business today, what to make because Igbo man come to my land to come and do business. So I see Igbo see me. We will now have confrontation. Yeah, Igbo business today is what if you talk about resources today. I will tell you, I don't have a resources when let me put in the way whereby allocation, whatever from federal government than any of the southeast of Igbo. But I will tell you today, if you talk to people that has money, you see the status that take a lower money, their citizens, most of their citizens, they have more than my citizens because they do business around the whole country. That's why they have confront with other people in those places where they go to. And the same Igbo today, when we are saying, let us be our own, the business do with numbers, and they don't have that number. That's why they move out. If they have that number, I will tell you, even when you see fight today, you see, let me use Israel as an example. Israel is fighting Iran, or they are fighting Palestine. Any Palestinian that live in Israel go back to Palestine at that time. Any Israel that live in Palestine go back to Israel. I tell you today, if people are fighting for that their cause, when they are fighting for that cause, people already know that they believe for that cause. You say that they will move back home. We are fighting, we don't want to join you people. That is when the cause will work. It's not when you are in my land, you are fighting for a cause that you know that the cause you are fighting for, it never give you what you are looking for. What you are looking for is my land you are looking for. The same person are saying you are fighting for your secession. It will never work.
Okay, my brother. You see, let me answer you again. Let me respond to what you just said. You see, this is such mentality that I can't comprehend. I don't understand how, and this is one of those narratives they push out there, and some people just take it and they run with it without engaging in critical thinking. I have always advised people to engage. When you hear something, think about it critically on your own and come out with your own judgment. Just like when you are talking about the Igbo region, when you talk about, number one, when you talk about resources, they do people having more resources than the region, the Biafra land. That one is a typical lie, and there are facts. I'm talking about facts. I'm not talking about propaganda or arguments or anything. That one is a fallacy. You cannot compare when it comes to resources in Biafra, in Igbo. I'm talking about the Igbo state. These 5 states you mentioned now. You talk about resources, there's no way to be compared them. Then when you talk about being in business, I think do you know very much about the Jews? Do you know about the Jews? You have heard about the Jews, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me any country in the world where the Jews do not have business?
I can say in Nigeria, they don't have business in Nigeria.
The Jews don't have business in Nigeria.
Tell me the Jews in Nigeria that have business in Nigeria.
Okay, you see, that is why I say sometimes when we talk, hold on. I will give you the assignment. Wait. When you talk sometimes, that is why wait. Sometimes you make. I am going to go to a level you understand. Don't worry, I'll go to a level you understand. Sometimes when people talk from a simple question, you understand the angle they are coming from and their level of understanding. That when you begin to denigrate the mercantilism of the Igbos, the business IQ of the Igbos to limit them on a certain region. And because of that, they cannot have their country because they have to do business everywhere. Let me tell you, Nigeria is the least place the Igbos have business. Nigeria is the least place you can talk about Igbos having business. And when you talk about business, that you have business in other places doesn't mean you cannot have a home. It's just like people who come and tell you that, oh, because we have intermarried so much, that all the Nigerian people have married so much, that when you define Nigeria now, how can they do? And then you see some flimsy people will begin to run with that argument and they go with it. And I ask them, even as we are, we have people who marry, we have people who do business, even Iran. I have people who are doing business in Iran. People are married in Arab land. People are married in the West, in Asia. And yet they have their home, they have their country where they return. Just like a Jewish example I'm giving you, there is no country on the planet Earth where if you go in that country, if you talk about the major businesses, you count 5 major businesses, you will see a Jew man inside. You will see a Jewish investment there. You will see there are a lot of Jewish investment in Nigeria. There is no place on the planet, no country on the planet where you don't have Jewish investment. I'm talking about